We're trying to answer the question, what happens if federal agents refuse to follow court orders? And the answer isn't good. Allegations this weekend of federal agents not following rulings from judges prohibiting certain crowd control tactics, and questions today over potential unlawful arrests. During an interaction with immigration agents in Northwest Side Albany Park Sunday, video appears to show agents deploying tear gas against the public without any audible warning, something that is unlawful under a court order from last week.
Leave them alone!
Immigration agents outside of a church in Rogers Park Sunday during a Spanish-language mass. Questions tonight over whether they had warrants targeting specific people or were there without warrants, something that requires additional probable cause and an assessment of an immigrant's flight risk.
What we have seen now on a much larger scale is federal agents indiscriminately stopping and arresting individuals without warrants and without probable cause required by federal immigration laws.
A fence still up around the Broadview ICE facility restricting access to a public road tonight after a judge ruled it should be taken down. The deadline to do so is tomorrow night. But what happens if federal agents refuse?
I am very worried about where we are right now. We are on the precipice looking into the abyss of chaos. If somebody says the judiciary makes a decision and then the executive branch ignores it, that's chaos.
Former federal prosecutor Ron Safer says federal judges can rule according to the law. But if the executive branch, in this case federal agents, refuse to follow those rulings, judges don't have an army to enforce their orders.
Normally, judges enforce their ruling by contempt orders, and then the person who is violating the order is fined or imprisoned if it's bad enough. How do you do that to a cabinet-level official? And who is going to enforce that?
At that point, the Constitution and American norms require the executive branch to enforce itself, something Safer is skeptical the president will do.
It is norms that presidents will respect the decisions of the courts, that they will respect the views of the governors. That's out the window. And that is going to create and is creating crises on the streets and in Washington and across the country.
Now, the I-team reached out to ICE about the incident in Albany Park. We have not heard back, but whatever party is in power, the courts are the answer for potential government overreach. But the enforcement doesn't come from the courts. If you're talking about the federal government, it comes from the federal government itself.
It comes from, I guess, the idea of the rule of law.
Absolutely, the idea.
A lot of questions around that. All right, Mark, thank you.